listening to your network.
Station,
I started listening to your network because of Jack, and I know a lot of other people who have.
Right.
And I also have questions about you and, like, not letting all the truth out by censoring your hosts, and why is Joyce Riley banned from your show?
Because Joyce Riley is one of those other sociopaths that I talked about.
Why? Okay, but how can you say a political radio host is a sociopath? They obviously do not think everything is perfect. They obviously are not happy with everything.
I'm talking, dear, I'm talking about stuff that I will not divulge, personal information that I know that would ban that person. There's only two people that are banned on this network, Bo Greitz and Joyce Riley. So what does that tell you? Thanks for your call, Katie. Continue listening. By the way, Jack's over at GCN. Dial in the coordinates. Clay and Sam, I'll take your calls real quickly, and we'll get to Victor and Lisa.
Get ready for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Stadtmiller.
All right, I'm going to clear these calls out. Please, folks, be brief in your questions or your comments. And I want to bring up Victor and Lisa Giuliani from Wing Television. Clay in New Mexico. Hello, Clay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stadtmiller.
How you doing?
I'm doing real good. I'm a little bit sorry about the way things sound today.
Yeah, but you know what? If he's got the sense that I think that he does, he's not going to make these mistakes again. And I hope that he does not. I wish him well. I really do.
Well, I believe that. It's a live and learn kind of a situation, and I think Robbie was right saying this is kind of a heck of a way for you to start a Monday. But
ain't it, though?
I'm one of those guys that occasionally you mention, wish you could round them all up. Maybe I'm an attorney in Albuquerque. And I know I don't quite totally understand where you're going with the organization that you're putting together, but I commend you for what it is that you're doing, and I am interested in the things that you talk about continually because I'm trying to study as much of it as I can. It's like getting kicked in the gut quite a bit, but
it hurts, doesn't it? And once you get over that, I mean, you go through that, what I call that 16-pound sled syndrome. What it is that you see the stars. It's like somebody whacks you over the head with a 16-pound sledge. You see the stars. It almost knocks you out. You recoup. You get angry. You get depressed. You run the whole gamut of emotions. But at the end of the day, you're still back exactly where you started, and the problems are still in front of you.
They are, and I'm a little bit at the angry point, and it's been, I tend to study things too long. But at any rate, the reason that I called was to tell you that if there's something that I could do here in New Mexico, if you're looking at New Mexico stations, I have no knowledge about FCC rules or laws or anything like that. I do basically auto wrecks, but I could, if you needed some help, I'd be happy to help you here in New Mexico with some
I'll tell
business things or contract things or whatever.
Clay, I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, give me a call at a later date into the network. We're here from, 9 o'clock in the morning until 6, 7 at night. So just give us a call when things quiet down a little bit, and I appreciate your support and your help, and keep listening.
Yeah, I'll look forward to listening to your network.
All righty. Thank you, sir. And keep educating. Folks, the only thing that this whole thing is about is to get the message out there to people like Clay, to new listeners who are out there, so they can have the facts and make up their own mind in what direction this country needs to go in. But we have to do it with absolute honesty and integrity. And by the way, Katie, dear, slander is when you lie about somebody. and any attorney can tell you that. Sam in West Virginia. Hello, Sam.
Hi, John.
Hi.
Hey, reason I called, I just wanted to, I started listening to you back when you were on Genesis.
Yeah.
And, of course, you and Alex did the radio show on Saturday. Boy, I really enjoyed that.
Real Talk Radio. We did that for over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was listening to the radio the day. I'm fortunate enough I get to listen to the radio while I'm at work. I listen to shortwave here.
Uh-huh.
And I heard Jack come on, and he said Genesis. And I thought, what?
Mm.
And, of course, I called Sandra afterward, and she told me what happened. But anyway, how many hours is Robbie going to be working now?
Well, I won't tell you what the man told me during a break during one of these shows last week. But he sat in for me for a couple of weeks until, I had some things to do at the network and trying to drop back and, get my psyche together here and move forward. And, and while I'm doing that, all this other stuff is going on. So he's been a gracious man.
The reason I say that, I want you to be able to hear this real quick.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
Okay, that's a $100 bill.
All right.
I'm going to be sending you that because I think he deserves a raise.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to challenge everyone out there listening because Mr. Stadtmiller and Mr. Noel and Sandra there and all the other hosts on this network, folks, they're not getting rich. They're not driving Lexuses.
Oh, boy.
They don't wear Rolexes. And I'm sure, John, you probably start work about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning?
No, actually, I don't roll in here until about 9:30 or 10-ish. I'm here, of course, I do the show, and then I'm here after that.
Well, I know I've called you on Saturdays and you've been there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I know you're putting the hours in.
Oh, like I said, be bold and work hard and good things will happen. Nothing ever good comes out of anything that you're not willing to put the time and the work into.
Well, I can't do what you're doing, so I'm going to do what I can, which is send you some support.
All right.
And I think all your listeners need to be doing that. They need to send you support because you do us a great service. You have the difference between your show and a lot of different shows, and Alex does a good show, but you actually bring answers. You bring people on your network that have answers for what you can do. The main one I think of is Desi and Ralph and Dr. Dietz. And these people are out trying to make a difference. I don't see that elsewhere.
Well, and that's what it's come down to because people have expressed that frustration, and I'm sure Victor and Lisa will back me on this one, that this is not an easy task. We are, with very limited budgets and very little time, we are actually going out there and successfully turning people's heads. We're changing their minds by presenting the facts and the evidence and pleading with them. My God, help us do something here.
Yeah.
It is working. But that's only the first phase of the informational war or the war against these tyrants.
Well, I tell you, if we don't keep you strong, your state network strong, and I'm not going to say that Genesis doesn't need to be doing it. They need to be doing it also as far as that goes, because where you're not, they are, I'm sure.
Well, and you know what? The funny thing about this is that, my meeting with Ted Anderson up there, I offered, since they started that network, they dumped some $2.5 million into it, and what they didn't really ever understand was the listeners out there that we grew. I mean, we'd been around for a while, and they never understood really their audience out there. And then to flip the format the way they did, and then finally to get rid of the guy that was responsible for most of that stuff. I mean, they're actually trying to make an attempt to flip the format back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry in some of their choices that they're making, but that's their bailiwick, that's their gig.
Right.
And we're competing for listeners out there. This is true, but I'll tell you what competition does.
I can tell you the program on your network, there is no competition as I'm concerned.
Well,
there's a couple of shows that I listen to on Genesis, actually 2, which is Alex's and Brother Butch's.
Right, Butch Paul, yeah.
Yeah, and but other than that, that's about it. I mean, I can't say I don't listen to the Power Hour Time, but those two I listen to. And yours, when you don't have your show, I just about go nuts because, I mean, I really can feel and relate to what you talk about.
Well, and I'm trying to keep the voice of reason and sanity, but I've got to stay sane myself. Hey, Sam, thanks for your call.
Hey, you're welcome.
And I appreciate that pledge for $100, folks. If anybody else wants to do that today, hey, it's President's Day. I know it's a holiday. You're probably out there doing nothing right now except listening to the show. Give us a call, 800-724-2719. Make a donation or just call up and say, hey, thank you. But it's not me, folks. I just put the wiring and all this stuff together, and I do a show on this network, and I'm trying to hold it all together with spit and baling wire and Band-Aids.